Daniel Moskos here is with the Chicago Cubs currently. Tony Barnette is currently with the Texas Rangers. We're going to ask these guys a couple of questions today and see if we can help some of those young and developing athletes along their path. The first question here is for Moskos. I'd asked you for a quote a couple years ago for some high school athletes, and basically asking what do you think they would benefit in knowing early on in their baseball careers in high school. Your quote was, "Don't let your actions be dictated by who is watching you. Anybody can act like they work hard when the coaches are watching. But what really makes a great player is what they do while no one is watching. Maintain your work ethic and professionalism at all times." Looking back on this, is there anything that you would change?
No, I mean, that's still one of my main tenets that I believe in. With baseball, you have a long off season where you really have to take care of yourself. Nobody's watching. So you have to put the work in. You have to, attack each day one at a time. And so, if you do things right, that'll take you to where you need to be when you're going to spring training and things like that, or preparing for the season. We'll put you in a good spot for where you want to be. You don't have to try and show off for coordinators and coaches and stuff like that are in town, because you'll know that you took every day seriously.
Well said. J-Bone.
You made it to AAA with the Diamondbacks organization before taking your talents to Japan, where you had a very productive 6-year career. What were some of the variables you weighed before making the decision to go overseas?
Well, the biggest one was, am I giving up the Major League dream? That was, at the end of the day, that was the question that was most prevalent in the decision, which, being at 26, I thought I was, and it was terrifying because you don't know if you're selling out for a paycheck or losing your dream for a paycheck, and that's one of those things that came up. But looking back on it now, it was the right move for me at the time. I wouldn't have known that then. I made the decision, but looking back in hindsight, it was the right move.
Daniel, so about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, you had to go through the rehab process and deal with a pretty significant injury, Tommy John. Do you have any advice for those who may be about to start the rehab process, or those that are currently going through the rehab process?
This will sound cliche, but you really have to attack rehab and physical therapy one day at a time. With Tommy John surgery, your rehab is a year. At the earliest, usually you have 12 to 18 months, and so it's going to be a grind. There are going to be days when you show up and you feel like you're not making progress, but you are. You have to get through the tough days. You have to enjoy the good days, but each day is going to be a battle. If you can win each day, I think that you'll get to where you want to be on the right timeline. And the second thing is just trust your protocol. Trust what the doctors give you, trust what the trainers give you, and don't try and do too much too fast.
I agree with that. One of the things we see in here with Fisher Institute and the athletes, we have healthy athletes, we have transitioning athletes from the physical therapy side. And a lot of times, once those athletes start to feel like they're getting back to where they were, it's easy for athletes to think more is always better. In my experience, and I'm probably speaking for Justin as well, the guys that we see that end up having hiccups and they're progressing here and they have a little dip and they progress, they try and do more. Sometimes more isn't always better, sometimes more is just more. And I think we had that talk during your process. I know when my brother tore his ACL during the season, the day he had his surgery, I went back to his condo afterwards and had that talk with him then. So I think that's a very important thing for athletes to understand, that the process is something that has to be stuck with. And on top of that, for athletes, the physical part of rehab, I think, is the easy part. Because they're athletes, that's what they do. The hardest part is the mentally coping with going through the process of not being who you are and having, because I know when I had the surgery in college, I felt like a ghost around the team. Like you're not able to contribute to the team the same as you would have normally. And so young athletes, I think it's very important to stick with that process of, do what you can, control what you can control, and trust that the process will get you back to where you need to be. So, well said, Daniel.
Yeah.